All right. Good afternoon, everyone. I'd like to welcome you to the September Planning Commission session for the City of Columbia. False start. All right. All right. Multiple staff members are here today to ensure that the meeting runs smoothly and all applicants and members of the public are able to participate in the meeting at the appropriate times.
If you are here today and would like to speak about a case, please provide your name clearly into the microphone, and please be sure to sign in either at the back of the room or at the podium for documentation purposes. If you're here today to speak about a case, you must speak up when the chairperson calls for public comment. I'll go ahead and call the roll. Mr. Cook?
Here.
Ms. Davis?
Here.
Mr. Harp?
Here.
Mr. Holcomb?
Here.
Mr. Osorio?
Here.
Ms. Coveney?
Here.
And Mr. Cohn.
Here.
We have a quorum.
I'll give a brief overview of the meeting format. Applicants with requests before the Planning Commission are allotted a presentation time of 10 minutes. This time should include, but is not limited to, an overview of the project, case history, and any pertinent meetings held regarding the request. And this time also includes all persons presenting on behalf of the applicant, such as attorneys, engineers, and architects. The time limit does not include any questions asked by the Planning Commission or staff regarding request. And during the public comment period, members of the general public are given the opportunity to address their concerns in intervals of 2 minutes. And after the public comment period, applicants have 5 minutes to respond. The administrator has a timer and will make presenters aware of when their time has expired. The Planning Commission reserves the right to amend these procedures on a case-by-case basis. And having reviewed that, are there any changes to the agenda?
There have not been any changes since publication.
Thank you. All right. We'll begin with the consent agenda. The Planning Commission uses the consent agenda to approve non-controversial or routine matters by a single motion and vote. Examples of such items on the consent agenda include the approval of site plans, annexations, and street names. If a member of the Planning Commission or the general public would like to discuss an item on the consent agenda, you must speak up after the consent agenda is read. Then that item is removed from the consent agenda and considered during the regular agenda on the meeting. The Planning Commission will then approve the remaining consent agenda items. And will staff please review the consent agenda?
Certainly. The first item is to approve the August 14th, 2025 minutes. The next item is under a future land use amendment and zoning amendment for a pending annexation, which is Annex-2025-0017 on the southwest side of Holloway Road. Request recommendation on the assignment of the land use classification of Urban Edge Residential Small Lot, UER1, and the assignment of zoning of Residential Single Family Small Lot, RSF3, for a pending annexation. The property is currently classified as neighborhood medium density and zoned residential 2, R2 by Richland County. Next is Annex-2025-0018, 930 Brantley Street. Request recommendation on the assignment of the land use classification of Urban Edge Mixed Residential and the assignment of zoning of Residential Single Family Large Lot, RSF1, for a pending annexation. The property is currently classified as mixed residential high density in a priority investment area and zoned R2 by Richland County. Next is a zoning text amendment, TA-2025-0012, request recommendation to amend the Unified Development Ordinance, Chapter 17, Article 3, zoning districts, Section 17-3.2, residential base zoning districts, RDMV, residential two-family Mill Village District, to modify requirements for two-family dwellings. There's a preliminary plat review, S-Plat-2025-0021, approximately 30.2 acres at the 8300 and 8400 block of Old Percival Road. Request preliminary plat approval for the construction of a 122-lot, single-family residential subdivision, Cypress Bend. The properties are zoned RSF3, Residential Single Family Small Lot District. And finally, a major site plan review, S-Plan-2025-0012, 1214 through 1236 Gregg Street, 1912 through 1924 Lady Street, 1221 Gregg Street, and 1306 Barnwell Street. Request major site plan approval for the construction of a 3-building, 314-unit, multifamily residential development and parking garage, the Gregg Street Apartments. The properties are zoned CAC, AP, AVZ, and MU1, AP, AVZ, Community Activity Center Corridor, and mixed use within the Airport Vicinity Zone Overlay District. And there is a traffic study included with that in the packet. And that concludes the consent agenda.
Thank you. Is there anyone from the Planning Commission who would like to have an item removed from the consent agenda? Are there any members of the public that would like?
I'm Jim Daniel. I would like to have item 6 removed from the consent agreement. This is the property on Gregg Street. Thank you.
All right. Can I get a motion to remove item 6 from the consent agenda to the regular agenda?
Mr. Chair, I motion that we move item 6 from the consent agenda to the regular agenda.
All right, we have a motion. Can I get a second?
Second.
All right. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right. Item number 6 will be moved from the consent agenda to the regular agenda. All right. Having done that, can I get a motion for the approval of the August minutes and the remaining consent agenda?
I motion for an approval of the August 2025 minutes and the remainder of the consent agenda.
We've got a motion. Can I get a second?
Second.
All right, I have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right, consent agenda and the minutes pass. We'll move to the regular agenda.
All right, that's going to take us to item number 6, S-Plan 2025-0012. And this project entails the construction of a 3-building, multifamily residential development and associated parking garage within the 1200 block of Gregg and the 1200 block of Barnwell Street. The proposed development will contain 314 apartments, an amenity space. Off-street parking will be provided in a surface parking lot and a 6-story parking garage. In addition, long-term parking and short-term bicycle parking will be provided in the parking garage. And the applicant is present and can explain their case.
Mr. Chair, I need to recuse myself from this particular item.
All right, thank you. Can you note that? All right, is the applicant here?
Yes.
Would you like to speak to the project?
Hello, I'm Chandler Culbertson. I wasn't planning to speak today. We had somebody that was supposed to be here to speak on behalf, but I can hopefully answer any questions until they get here.
Any commission members have any questions for the applicant? Did you have any issues with any of the staff comments?
No.
Okay. I read through and didn't personally see any concerns, so
Right.
I guess if we can see what the issues were and then give you the opportunity to come back.
Sure. Well, we're happy to address any issues there may be.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, I'm Jim Daniel. I don't have any actual oppositions to the project. Here's my issue. Y'all got 3 items before y'all today for new projects. 1, does the staff do any type of analysis on the need for these projects? 2, does your body do any analysis on the need for these projects? Let me just tell you what's in the pipeline right now. The Gateway at Gadsden Green just opened. That's 940 beds. That's for student housing. The university also has, in addition to the Honors College, of 1,100 apartments, which should probably be 2 years or 3 years away. So we're talking 2,000 new university units. Core Apartments has announced 485 student beds on Main Street. They've also announced 418 beds, which they say is market rate, next door. The Verve at Blossom Street, which is coming out of the ground, should be open this fall, is 695 units. We have proposed 1221 Gregg, 800 beds. We have 1027 and 1125 Rosewood, which are going to be, I don't know, I understand townhouses, apartments, but when you look at these in mass, do we need anything else right now in the pipeline with what we've already got? We've overstressed in our neighborhood. I'm president of Wheel Hill Neighborhood Association, with a developer coming in and building 10 student-occupied houses. They're selling to mom and dad for $450 to $700, and they're 4 and 5 bedrooms, and they're cramming 4 and 5 people in each one of them. We're getting ready to challenge a series of these, but that block basically is gone. I mean, it's no longer a single-family block. It's a student housing block. They'll be here for 2 years, and then they'll go, and somebody else will buy it. So when you look at what we're looking at here, you got 2,000 for the university. You've got Antique, you got Coors doing 900, Verve is doing 700, that's 1,600. You got Gregg is 800, that's 2,400. I don't know what the Rosewood is, but I mean, we could be talking 3,000 new units in the next 2 years. Who is going to fill these? There's a 9-unit apartment right now under that's being developed at the corner of Rosewood, it's by the First Citizens Bank. They've got 9 units, 3 bedrooms each, $1,000 per bed. From what I can see, they've only leased 3. Online, they say they've got 3 available. I don't know, but that's a brand new project. Cadillac, $1,000 a bed, and it's not leasing up. And they've missed the window for spring semester, I would say. So I guess they're gonna have to sit on $9,000 loss till January. But I don't know whether you guys are looking at the big picture. What I see is y'all are rubber stamping every application that comes before you for new housing apartments without looking at the big picture. What's in the pipeline? What's just come online? And how does it fit with what's being proposed? You gotta assume that Mr. Culberson's project is gonna be geared towards students because it's right up the street. Maybe not, but at some point in time, y'all are the gatekeepers. Y'all are the ones that are supposed to be saying, wait a minute, do you have any data that supports the renting or sale of these properties? If you don't do that, you're not doing your job. Thank you.
So I appreciate the comments, and just for sentiment towards that, I appreciate you sharing that, because that's something I keep a close eye on, given how much of that's been coming through in the last 2 to 3 years. I think
And there's been a lot in the pipeline in the last 3 years, not as well. You look at the ones in Olympia. I don't know whether the city's economic development's responsibility to tell you we don't need any more right now. Oh yeah, we need some more, and here's the type we need. But if you aren't getting that information, how do you make a decision on this project?
Yes, I think there's currently, I could be at this moment in time slightly off, but I think there's a shortage of 4,000 beds.
Student?
Yeah. I don't know the exact numbers, but they changed. There's 2 websites that I'm happy to give you later that have all this data.
Well, part of
that's-
it's moving into our neighborhood.
Okay.
In our case in Wheeler Hill, we've got 33 bedrooms that have just come on the market in the last year. The developer has another block to build on. There may be a demand for 4,000, but that doesn't count what's out in the neighborhood. Is
Yeah.
that factored in, the rentals in Shandon? I see a lot of for rent signs in Shandon right now that I don't normally see.
Yeah. Would the applicant like to speak to that, or?
I'm happy to answer any specific questions you may have. It sounds like the opposition is more to the aggregate of things going on in Columbia, not specifically our development, but if y'all have any questions about our development, we're happy to address.
It sounded like he was a little concerned that people were building too many apartments and they wouldn't be able to be filled. Are you concerned about that going forward?
No, it sounds like there's a demand based on everything that we've
Yeah.
researched.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Do you plan to market them towards students?
We've set it up intentionally to be market rate, so anybody can be rented. So, I mean, with its proximity to the university, I'm sure students will be interested, but it won't be, we're not looking for any additional student credits. We're not working with the university on any of that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any further discussion?
Mr. Chair, just a question. If
Yep.
they're not designated student housing, is it in our purview in any way to comment on who's going to live in those, any development that goes up? Is that not discrimination housing if you were to say students can't live in multifamily housing? I mean,
It's a good question, yeah.
just a point, not really a question, honestly, a comment.
No, that's correct.
Mr. Chair, I just want to add, and just remind fellow commissioners that while I can empathize with Mr. Daniels' comment, I think we just have to remember what our duty that we're tasked with is, and it's essentially, we have to review the item that's in front of us, and if it meets the Unified Development Ordinance and those points on there, we can either, vote to, or recommend it for approval or not, but aside from that, I think we might be getting out of our purview.
No, it's well noted. Thank you. If there's no further discussion, take a motion.
Mr. Chair, I move that we approve the request for major site plan approval, S-Plan 2025-0012, upon all staff comments being addressed, and that will meet all site plan decision standards.
Thank you. We've got a motion. Can I get a second?
Second.
Got a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Thank you. On to the next item.
Okay, so now that takes us to the next 2 items on the regular agenda. These are items that the commission looked at last month, and the commission had deferred. I'll address them both individually, but as with last month, if the commission is willing, it may pay to discuss them both at the same time. The first one is an annexation, future land use map amendment, and zoning map amendment for 1027 Rosewood Drive. And this is an annexation of what is currently a vacant, or actually it's a grassed parking area adjacent to Seawells. And this request is to, again, annex and to annex it into the MU2 zoning district. It is currently zoned general commercial in the county. And the next item on the agenda is a zoning map amendment at 1125 Rosewood Drive. And this is a request for a recommendation to rezone the property from our CAC district, which is Community Activity Center / Corridor District, to our MU2 district, which again is a mixed-use district. I do know the applicant is here, and I'm sure we'll be able to provide you with any additional information you'd like, and I'd also be glad to answer any questions.
Thank you. Is the applicant here? And I would put out, I think a few of the commission members were not here last month, and this was deferred, and I think the applicants had some time maybe to revisit and kind of see if there's some ways to address the concerns from before.
Hey, I'm George McCutcheon, and if I could pass out the site plan and the proposed deed restrictions for the property. I will say, we had looked at this property as a student housing project, about 400 units, and decided instead to go back with 71 townhomes for professional working people who wanted to be close to downtown. They may also be Gamecock fans because they can see the stadium from there. But anyway, that's part of the project and the process we've been going through for about the last 3 years. So when you see the nice design of the townhome project, you'll see as it's handed out to you, lots of green space. I was surprised at how much green space we needed to put in there, but I think it's like 20, 25%, something like that. So a lot of green space included. And one of the concerns that we ran into that we were unaware of was a possibility of single-family homes, which is kind of a loophole in the zoning, which I think in talking with staff, we had gone back after last meeting to attempt to find another zoning that would only allow the townhomes. And unfortunately, in talking with staff, they said there's nothing else other than this proposed and that they had come up with and recommended to us. However, I think, and I hope I'm not misstating this, Andrew, is that there may be a proposal for a future clarification in the code to separate townhomes from single family, possibly. So.
What it would be to clarify whether a development built on a single lot is considered to be multifamily or townhome. So if it would still be a situation where if it was subdivided into fee simple lots, those would be considered to be townhomes. But, you know, if it was on one large lot, we would consider it to be multifamily.
Right. So we think we've got a beautiful project here for this space. The ownership, the Sewell family, they want to continue the business. They've been a great part of the community for many years, contributed a lot to Columbia, to the university, and we would like for your approval, please. What questions might I answer?
I do want to put out to the commission, I appreciate the applicant making the effort and providing this, but as far as our motion goes, it needs to stay independent of the site plan specific to zoning. But if anyone has any questions for the applicant, please feel free.
And if I may, I would just like to make a statement about the declaration of covenant, that we cannot condition any zoning on
That's correct.
having,
Yeah.
on having such a thing.
Sure. So I just have a general question. I mean, condition on this approval, where are you at as far as being able to do this project, or from a time frame?
We're under contract, and certainly all contracts are finite, but we think we have enough runway to get this thing done. We have a concept plan. If we get through the zoning stage and we have conceptual site plan approval, then we go to hard civil design. We think that we can have hard civil design done, 4 or 5 months, and then we're into the actual land disturbance permit application process, permits to construct water and sewer and so forth. We're very confident that we've got a builder that is very much in with this concept, with this location. I think it's going to be a product. It's a 3-story townhome with a 4-story walkout on top. It's going to offer a lot of value to the area. We think it's going to be multi-purpose for somebody that wants to buy one and maybe have their sibling, their kids to have it while they're in school, and then use it afterwards to go to football games and whatnot. We know there's a market for it. There should be a strong demand. There's very quality, good-looking stuff. Our home builder is a national home builder. We've gone the extra mile to make sure that this product, is a good, viable, saleable product in this market. So we're very confident that we've got a builder. We're very confident that if we can get through this temporary issue here, that we can get to council. A couple of things I want to bring up is that, in discussions with the planning staff, we did learn that we could go to the first reading, and city council could, if they approve it. By law, you could table it for as much as 180 days until the second reading. We did something similar to that in Greenville, South Carolina, a project that we did, a townhome project in the downtown city of Greenville, to where the landowner did not want the property to necessarily be rezoned and annexed into the city if we didn't close on the property. So we worked with the city, with the city manager there, and basically we got a letter from the city that basically said, if we don't close, then the property is not rezoned. Now, in this particular case, I will say that I think the Seawells would prefer that the property be rezoned versus the situation in Greenville. However, there could be a pause for sure for 180 days until we give notice of our intent to close. So the way this thing happens is our builder is close to giving us notice to proceed on this project, meaning that they've done all their due diligence. We've given them all the information, the geotechnical, environmental, we've given them zoning, which is the next bar that needs to be checked. So once we get across the zoning threshold, then we will get notice to proceed from our builder, which means, put the pedal to the metal, let's get this thing done, and let's go to full civil design, get the CDs and get all the permits in place, and then we then deliver the finished pads for the builder. So that's the process, if you will. But we're very confident to answer your question in a long roundabout way. That's my answer. So the other thing was, I don't know, but on one hand, I like this zoning because it does allow you to do a variety of things without going through a PD. However, this one issue that's hanging out there, no one wants to see single-family residential on this site. And I will remind everybody that the price we're paying for this property, single-family residential will never be able to support the land cost at that location. Now, that aside, there's always a possibility, but I'd say it's a minute possibility you'd ever see single-family residential on this property. So we would like to respectfully request that we bring it to a vote. We will endeavor in absolute terms and the property owners will consent to a deed restriction on the property that would be recorded at closing, that that deed restriction, if you read it, it is irreversible. And it withstands, well, foreclosures and a long list of things that could happen that would imperil that restriction. However, I think it's ironclad restriction that would in perpetuity. The second thing would be, again, we will ask City Council to please table it after the first reading, if we were so fortunate to get them to approve it. And they can table it up to 180 days by South Carolina law, as I understand it. So that's where we are. We feel very confident and we're happy to be here, being City of Columbia, to be able to annex something in. It's something that I think is going to be a very valuable asset to the community in that location without 400 to 500 beds.
Thank you. Are there any questions from any commissioners?
I have one question. I have a concern that you stated earlier, if I understood you correctly, that this was primarily going to be for student housing. Is that correct?
No, this is market rate for sale. It's going to be pretty pricey, so it's not really going to be as suitable for student. It's definitely not student housing. Now, the plan that was actually for this property, it was under contract with the Seawells, I guess, for a couple of years, was a student housing, and it was a mega mammoth 400 or 500 bed student housing with a crosswalk from crossing over the street. I mean, it was mammoth, and that, for whatever reason, didn't work out. We're fortunate that we're here to downsize that and to bring a very quality townhome product to the marketplace. We think that these townhomes there could be as much as 45 to 50 million in sales in this particular project. And I think that bodes well for the tax base in the city. And we're happy to be here and appreciate your participation. And if you have any more questions, I'd be happy to answer.
Thank you for that clarification.
I have one quick question. So is your intention to build this all out and then sell them individually? Or are you going to build it in phases? I'm just curious about.
It'll be mass. It'll be built out. It'll be built out in one phase, basically. It's with the takedown schedule, it will be built out in one phase. I mean, we'll mass grade the property, which is not much grading. We got demolition, we got some asphalt to remove, but it'll be built in one phase. Thank you.
I think we touched, this is a question for staff. This still has to come for site plan approval? Yes. Is that correct?
Yes, it would require a site plan approval because it is more than 25. Actually, I stand corrected. It would be subdivision review because it would be a subdivision.
Makes sense. Are there any further questions from the commissioners? All right, thank you. Are there any members of the public who would like to speak?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Jim Daniel, I make the same comments I made before. The applicant made a comment that they feel comfortable these buildings will sell. My question is if they actually done a market study to see if there's a market for these expensive units across the state fairground. And again, my position, and it's really y'all's job, not to rubber stamp just because they enter what the form says they have to do. Y'all need to look into these things and quit approving projects that maybe don't have a market. Maybe that should be passed on to Ryan Coleman, but it looks like to me all you guys do is rubber stamp if the application has all the right words in the right places. You don't go any further than that, and I think that's a real mistake on y'all's part. Thank you.
All right. Are there any other members of the public that would like to comment? All right. Any commissioners have any additional questions of staff or the applicant? All right.
Mr. Chair, I think the issue last time was that there was a potential that they could have single-family detached on there. And from last time to this time, basically nothing's changed. This is the zoning that they'd be able to, this is the only zoning that would apply for their project, correct?
I think that is correct. Is that correct?
Correct. Single-family detached is still a permitted use.
Okay, thank you.
My only additional comment is I would hate for this project to, fall apart simply because there's the possibility that single-family homes could be built on there, especially given that, as you mentioned, I think a site plan would still have to come in front of us. So I think at that time, if anything's changed, if it's approved today, we could revisit that at that point. But I would just hate to not move forward with this just because, again, there's a possibility, and I think, we might want to take the applicant, at a good faith word.
Thank you. Any additional comments? Before entertaining a motion, I just would put out that any motion is completely independent and with nothing to do with the site plan or the deed, any deed restriction that was presented. So,
Mr. Chair, are we making motions for both at one time or separately?
we need to do those separate?
That would be separate.
That's what I thought.
Okay. We'll do a, which one do you want us to do first?
I guess just do 7 first, since it's first on the agenda, and then 8.
I make a motion that we recommend approval to rezoning of mixed-use District 2, MU2, case Annex-2025-0016, located at 1027 Rosewood Drive.
All right, I've got a motion. Can I get a second?
Second.
Got a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? I'm opposed for the record, but motion passes. All right. You want to do the next one?
Yes, I make a motion that the Planning Commission recommend approval to rezoning of mixed-use District MU2 for zoning map amendment, ZMA 2025-0016, located at 1125 Rosewood Drive.
All right, thank you. You've got a motion. Can I get a second?
Second.
All right, we've got a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That's me. Motion passes. Thank you. All right, on to the next.
Okay, the next item on your agenda is for the Bull Street development. It is, sorry, wrong page here. Basically, the property is generally bound by Bull Street, Colonial Drive, Hardin Street, and Calhoun Street. And this is a request or a recommendation on a major amendment to a planned development district. And procedurally, this major amendment to a planned development follows the same process as a zoning map amendment. But there will not be boundaries changed by this amendment. It just basically requires that it go to you as the Planning Commission and then to City Council for approval. And so this request is to modify the maximum allowable height for structures within an area defined as a special district within the Bull Street Neighborhood Plan Development District. And basically there's a portion of that Plan Development District that requires this be considered a major change and go through this process. Regrettably, when I was making attachments, I did not include the special district. So let me describe it for you, and I also had some technical difficulties. I was trying to print that out for you now, and apparently not successfully connecting to the printer. But the special district is an area that is largely on Colonial Drive. And it does go all the way up to Bull Street, but goes down about as far as like the S in the word Sabal on the map here. Yeah, around there. And then there's also a section of special district along Hardin Street to the east of the park. So in that area, that's also special district. However, the current regulations do allow that same height that is being proposed, which is up to 10 stories. And so basically, yeah, north of the baseball stadium, along Colonial Drive. If I'm able to get that map, I've tried to get that map printed, I'll get it up to you. But that is the area within the planned development district that this change would apply to. The applicant is present and will, I'm sure, give you a little bit more information.
Thank you. The applicant here.
Hi there, I'm Chandler Cox with Bull Street Development. Thank you for considering the application to amend the PUD to allow a more specific height limit within the Colonial Drive Special District. We are asking, basically, these are one-by-one projects, so everything at Bull Street is either designated what we call T4 or T5, and then on case-by-case basis, things can apply for special districts. So as we are asking for this height limit increase, it's not a by right necessarily across the district, even throughout the special district within it. So thank you for your consideration, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. Any commission members have any questions? All right, thank you. Are there any members of the public that have any comments? Lively crowd today. All right, well, no comments, can take a motion.
Mr. Chair, I move that we recommend approval of the request to amend the zoning map for the properties included in, God, I gotta tell those numbers. Okay, for the property. Yeah, there you go. Sorry, so I move that we recommend approval of the request to amend ZMA, where's the number? There we go, 20250017. As it meets the decision standards outlined in section 17-2.5C in the Unified Development Ordinance.
Like that, thank you. All right, we've got a motion. Can I get a second?
Second.
Got a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Thank you. And that brings us to, I guess, do we have any other business?
We do have a couple of quick items on other business. Let's see if I can get to I don't know that it's on here anyway, but first of all, I just wanted to thank Ms. Davis. This is her last planning commission meeting. She's rotating off and council has made some new appointments. So thank you for your years of service, for agreeing to be vice chair. We really appreciate you and just wanted to acknowledge Ms. Davis. And related to that, we do have some elections. Since Ms. Davis has been the vice chair, we do have to, and I know y'all made some nominations, so I think Madeline's got some forms for y'all to fill out so that we can have a vice chair. Our bylaws do require us to do elections in January every year, so this will just be for the remainder of the year to have a vice chair in case our chair can't make it. So, and then we've got a couple of new members that'll be serving next month, Kelsey Foster and Clay Brabham. And so we'll be seeing them up here next month. So.
I meant to stop and address that, thank you. But I was also trying to twist her arm to stay on for a little longer.
It's been my pleasure. I really have enjoyed it in the relationships with everyone, so I look forward to seeing y'all around Columbia.
Well, thank you for your service.
Thank you.
Pleasure. No. You can have it. It was here when I got here. And that was here when I got here.
And it looks like Mr. Osorio will be our vice chair for the rest of the year. So thank you and congratulations. Any other business from anybody else? I think we're good.
All right.
Oops.
Get a motion to adjourn.
Mr. Chair, make a motion to adjourn.
Got a motion. Can I get a second?
Second.
Oh, that's a lot of seconds. Guess we're good. All right. Have a good afternoon, everyone. So.